Tom Downey here for NFL Daily once again with the NFL trade deadline in the books. We're going to break down the top 25 NFL free agents who are still unsigned who maybe could end up bringing some impact to a potential playoff team down the stretch. Now, if you enjoyed our NFL trade deadline coverage, I was obviously busy on our Cowboys channel, but it was what a deadline. I mean, chaos. You had Sauce and Quinn Williams getting traded the same day. Who saw that one coming? If you enjoyed it, show it by liking today's show. Let's go 1 to 25 with more emphasis on some of the earlier guys for reasons you'll see very soon. Number 1 is still going to be Christian Wilkins. I have no idea if he's even healthy to play. It has been extremely quiet around Wilkins since the drama with the Raiders releasing him amid the dispute over his foot injury. It hasn't been a peep about he's taken a visit here. He's medically cleared here. There is one player who is now medically cleared. We'll get to in a little bit. The weird locker room stuff lingers out there. So I have no idea what ends up happening with Christian Wilkins. Yeah, there had been an initial report of he wanted to join a contender down the stretch, but if we don't get some buzz about him being healthy when we're over a year removed from the first foot injury, which never should have been a year-long recovery process, I don't know. And until we get details on like, hey, this happens, he needs this, he needs that, it just makes him a wild unknown to the point that I have no idea if he will sign at all this year. So what do you think ends up happening? Will a team sign Christian Wilkins? Y for yes, N for no. Go ahead and sound off for me in the comment section of today's show. Number 2 is Justin Simmons. I'm a little bit surprised he's unsigned. I still think he is a serviceable player in the NFL. He is by no means what he was at his peak, what he was in his prime. But I do think Justin Simmons, who did say he wanted to join a contender, could help somebody. I know there's been a lot of buzz on the Eagles and Vic Fangio. Not sure they end up needing one on that front, but trying to figure out just what the heck ends up happening with Justin Simmons is a pretty big question mark for me at this time. All right, number 3, Asante Samuel. This is the corner, most recently of the LA Chargers. Big update here came across the wire just before the trade deadline got going truly. Finally cleared for full football activities after he had spinal fusion surgery all the way back in April. ESPN has reported he is in touch with multiple teams at this time and that is an option. We'll break down some of those teams here in a little bit. Samuel was very banged up last year, which should raise some red flags, should raise some concerns in that regard. He's going to sign somewhere, as long as the medical checks out. Getting that medical to check out is, of course, the big thing. That's what a lot of these visits will be. It'll be how healthy is your neck/spine, because if it's not healthy, you ain't playing in the NFL. There's too much risk there. 3 teams we know of that are going to visit with Asante Samuel: the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Carolina Panthers. So who will end up signing Asante Samuel? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Who do you think will end up signing? Number 4, Stephon Gilmore, the corner, who is very old, frankly. By NFL standards, this is about as old as you get when it comes to a player at corner. He's 35 years old. That's like, in like regular human years, that's like 80. Like you're ancient at that point. He wasn't that bad though for Minnesota. You know, there'd been some buzz linking him to like the Cowboys, but he said he was open to returning. Been very quiet there. I don't know if it's going to happen. Another former Cowboy on this list, linebacker Eric Kendricks, who did post the classic workout photo. Dallas seems out of the running after the trade for Logan Wilson, who I assume has bounced around the NFL, Vikings and Chargers in recent years. Has lost a step, if not 2. But if you need a veteran linebacker, Eric Kendricks stands out to me. Juwan Bentley is another one here. This is the former Patriot linebacker, thumper, throwback style. Barely played at all back in 2024. Obviously, he's not played at all this season. Was productive in 2023 and has done some good like downhill stuff. This style of linebacker, though, is not as popular as it once was many, many years ago. Number 7 is Josey Jewell. I know there's some buzz about some concussion concerns for the former Panthers linebacker. Only played in 12 games last year. Has had some injury history in the past, dating back to his time with the Denver Broncos. But as a veteran linebacker who can, in theory, pick up a defense quick enough, just like Juwan Bentley and Eric Kendricks can, that is a name to at least monitor. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with PrizePicks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. Keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups after you play your first $5. PrizePicks is the only app that offers stacks. Pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. You can pick more than on, for example, Josh Allen, passing yards, rush yards, and touchdowns. My boy Harrison over at Bears Now cooked up this one. Caleb Williams, more than passing yards. Jackson Dart, more than passing yards. I love it. Neither defense has been that great, and Caleb was cooking against a very, very bad Bengals defense, and the Bears lied a lot, so I like that one quite a bit. You can also follow other PrizePicks players directly on the app, copy their lineups in a simple click. That's all on the new Feed tab on PrizePicks. Go download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Number 8 is Kendall Fuller of a variety of teams, the Dolphins, the Commanders. He has bounced around quite a bit in recent years. Chiefs for a while as well. I don't know what his real future will end up looking like in the end. I don't think he's a bad player by any stretch of the imagination. He was briefly on the Detroit Lions practice squad this year as well, hence the Lions jersey that you see on screen. And then he lasted like 2 weeks. So he might be done, frankly. Number 9 is linebacker Shaq Barrett, edge/linebacker Shaq Barrett, outside linebacker. We'll use the NFL designations there. Has played 1 game since 2023. Had a tackle in that lone game with retirement and all that other weird stuff going on. I don't know if he's going to play again in the NFL, but we're at the point where like the top free agents they might just never play again. That's where we're at with this stage of the grouping. So we'll go faster on some of them. Number 10 is DJ Chark, the wide receiver who, again, has entered the journeyman phase of his career. Didn't make the roster earlier this preseason. Might be done. James Bradberry didn't play at all back in 2024 because of an injury. It was a really bad one. Every other year he's been good pretty much. Like gets beat, bounces back, gets beat, bounces back. But now he hasn't played football and we're approaching 2 calendar years. Kind of wonder if it's the end of the line for James Bradberry. I was surprised the Gus Bus didn't get signed this offseason. Maybe there's something I don't know about. It's certainly possible. It happens all the time in the NFL. He had taken a step back, only 3.6 yards per carry. Chargers were right to pursue other options, and Marion Hampton looks really good for them. I was a little surprised no one brought him in to compete for some type of role this past offseason. At his age, his play style, if he's not explosive, he's just a plotter, that might be it for him. Now, for more of the latest NFL news, we got you covered. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. Among the videos to come this week on the channel, a new mock draft, so make sure you guys are subscribed. I think Isaiah Simmons is probably one of my biggest draft misses. I thought he was going to be so good. I thought he could do everything. Not that he wasn't able to lock in on one particular spot. He has bounced around the Cardinals, the Giants, the Packers. He's a great athlete, but he never quite found a home outside of just being a gifted athlete, whether it was safety, nickel, linebacker, blitzer. It's master of none, jack of all trades, and that did not work out in the end in the NFL. Jamaal Williams, the former Saints running back. Again, remember how I said we're in the they might not never play again category? I don't know if he's ever going to play again. Very similar status to Gus Edwards there. I mentioned Vonn Bell over someone like Marcus May. I will make note, Marcus May did try out a couple days ago or weeks ago for the LA Chargers, but it's been very quiet around him there. And he has also hardly played games in recent years. He's been a part-time player. Vonn Bell did try out for the Pittsburgh Steelers, was a starter for the Bengals at times last year. The safety market beyond Justin Simmons, to me, does not stand out. Diontae Johnson, the wide receiver, and I can't stand him. Honestly, just talk about sabotaging your own career with what he did. Getting cut by a playoff team because he was mad that they won and he didn't get enough footballs. He signed with the Browns, got cut as part of roster cuts, had a workout recently, got claimed by the Ravens as part of a no one else gets to have him weird stint. The Texans cut him, the Ravens cut him. He went through so many teams in the last calendar year, dating back to March 2024. So from March 2024, Steelers, Panthers, Ravens, Texans, Ravens, Browns again. Now, it's actually more than a calendar year, but you get my point. Just bouncing around. Odell Beckham Jr. We haven't put him on any top 25 list because there hasn't been a need to. It's probably over for Odell Beckham. He was not good last year. Is currently in the midst of a suspension from the NFL for performance-enhancing drugs. Turns out he had no idea how it got in his system. Go figure, right? Although, I'll be honest with you. If I were at the stage of Odell Beckham's career and, it's getting to be done for me and I have not looked good since the injuries and I've been hurt for a long time now, why not take the PEDs? Well, why not try to extend your career shelf life? As dynamic as he was at the beginning of career, I think it's over, unfortunately, for OBJ. So it might be the last time we get to try out this weigh-in. Will Odell Beckham play in the NFL ever again? OBJ for yes, no BJ for no, and we might retire that legendary weigh-in moving forward. This is the wide receiver section. Good old Nelson Agholor. He's fast. Can't catch. Sometimes you need both of those things to make it in the NFL. Number 19, Cam Smith. Has been pretty quiet around him since the Dolphins cut him from the non-football injury illness list. It never got going for him with the Miami Dolphins. Vic Fangio hated him. It was just all kinds of ugly. I wonder if he's just flamed out insanely fast. Lewis Cine, the safety, who a little bit of buzz at times about returning to the Minnesota Vikings. He has also bounced around, had to work out with the Patriots. Younger athlete, but I don't think you're banking on him making a big impact for you. Cam Sutton had the history of the off-field stuff before the Steelers brought him back. Veteran nickel, but these are very much I don't know if they can help you at all anymore. Emmanuel Moseley is talented. He just cannot stay healthy. And I think the injuries have become so plentiful that it's probably the end of the line for Emmanuel Moseley. Name a player, or a free agent, I should say, who you want your team to sign. If there is one. If you're the Jets, you're probably not signing a veteran because why bother? Let me know in the comments of today's show. Zack Moss is next up here, the running back formerly of the Bengals. He wasn't very good for Cincinnati before he got hurt. He was attempting to come back from a broken neck. He had been cut in July. I wonder if it's just the end of him and he can't get medically cleared because of the neck. The Bengals kind of helped him out a little bit there. He spent 2 months in a neck brace. It was a severe injury. We'll see if he's able to come back, but I don't know if it's going to happen at all this year. Did want to get one offensive lineman on here. I'll go with Mark Glowinski. There's not a lot of very good options. This is a backup journeyman at best at this point in his NFL career, but Shaq Mason's got some serious off-the-field stuff going on character-wise. Jedrick Wills, I don't think he's going to play at all this year due to medical if he ever plays again. So not many options there on the offensive line. Also true at quarterback. I went with Taylor Heinicke. It's not like that's a starting viable option, but he's been a backup in the NFL before. So if you really had to, maybe he could be a backup for you again.